whole team has really gelled, maybe because of number 30.
Gogolak now will try one from the 46-yard line. It is good. It is good. The second one today for Gogolak to increase the Giants' lead now to 34-17 with 1 minute and 42 seconds to play.
Well, hello! Thank you so much for taking time out to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you! If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up, or possibly leave a comment below, or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you! Well, I mean, the mock drafts, I mean, early on, okay, I mean, maybe have a little fun with them, right, you know, maybe educational purposes, but don't get too carried away with them. I mean, especially early on. I mean, don't wait, as I said, like, told, at least, you know, I mean, like, maybe we're talking like, you know, maybe like a week before the draft. Then, you know, if you're going to start, you know, because there's 800,000 people out there with mock drafts. And, you know, they're all almost different. I mean, you know, you're just going to drive yourself freaking bananas. I mean, yeah, do you realize, I mean, that there's a mock draft already for 2024? I mean, yeah, people are like, oh, yeah, on 2024, we're taking, oh, my God, wow, oh, jeez, wow, man, it's going to happen. I mean, of course, then, of course, there's one for 2024, of course, there's a mock draft for 2023, I mean, what, it's unbelievable. Now, how the heck do they know what's going to go on during the course of this whole season coming up, and then in 2 years? I mean, come on. I mean, what is it? Walter Football. He's got this. I saw with him. He's got a mock draft for 2023 and 2024. Now, apparently, with Walter Football, apparently the Giants are going to be like almost the worst team in football this year coming up. I guess that there's no liking, no hope for Daniel Jones, apparently. I guess so. We're going to be picking number 2. That's what they got. And we're taking, according to them, next year, 2023 draft, we're taking Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama. But then that's supposed to help us, right? Because according to Walter Football, the next year, in 2024, right, they got a crystal ball, they're seeing all this stuff, and we're going from pick 21. Now, 2024, we're picking 21. So Bryce Young is setting us, we're going to the Super Bowl. All right, and then we're taking Brandon Jennings, a linebacker from Maryland, in 2024 with the 21st overall pick. That's, I mean, just take the stuff with a little grain of, educational, yeah, you know, but a little grain of salt. I mean, you know what the odds are of these guys being right? I mean, you think it's, you know, the odds of like winning a lottery. I mean, the odds of these being right. I mean, especially not only that, but I mean the odds of them picking the whole first round. I mean, it's astronomical. Guys put out their mock draft 1.0, and then people look at them, you know, like with the, oh wow, Mel Kiper Jr. again. Wow, mock 1.0. Holy, what's he got? Oh, Giants at home. Wow. And then like 2-3 weeks later, whatever, he puts out a mock 0.2. Oh my God, he put out an updated one. Oh, what are we taking this time? I mean, it's like, on my phone, I got an ESPN app, and you know, sometimes you'll hear their sound be like dun 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 dun, and then it means that's like a news flash. You know, something happened with ESPN. Sometimes it's, you know, it's actually something important, but every now and then it'll be like, you know, you look at it, you know, it's like, Mel Kiper Jr. put out mock 2.0 draft. I mean, for the upcoming draft. I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, we're a couple months away. I mean, he'll put mock draft 1.0 out like 3 months before the draft. I mean, it's like they put out mock draft 2.0. I mean, there's 8 billion people putting mock drafts out. Then they put out mock draft 3.0. they change it up a little bit, and then they put out 4.0. I mean, then they put out their final mock draft, all right, which is like usually, as I said, very close to the draft itself. And that's when you really want to start maybe paying some attention. But even then, you look at these drafts, a lot of them, especially this year, like last year, Trevor Lawrence, boom, it's written in stone, Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, right? Even Joe Burrow, right in stone. This year, I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing, I saw Hutchinson, number one. I saw, Thibodeau, number one. I saw Neal, number one. I even saw Ekwonu, number one. So this year, no idea whatsoever. And then don't waste your time too much, with the drafts like right now. All right. Now just wait. As I said, wait till the week of the draft, and then you get some decent, more informed information on what's going on. We did early the mock drafts, maybe even before the college season was over. Some of these mock drafts are just unbelievable. There's tons of people with all their mock drafts. It's absolutely crazy. Then what happens, right? They come out with their mock drafts like maybe before the season's over, right? Then you got like the bowl games, right? Maybe some guy does good. Maybe they do bad. And then you got the Senior Bowl. Maybe the guy does good against the senior. Maybe he does bad. So if Mel Kiper's got so and so going number 4, well, say he has a bad Senior Bowl game. Well, now he's going number 13. It just, especially as I said early on. You got the Senior Bowl. You got the bowl games. You got some guys that are going to go up and down, according to what they do in the bowl games, especially Senior Bowl, because they're going up against the top of the top. There's all seniors. It's not like a bowl game where he's a defensive end, and he's a senior, and he's lining up against a freshman tackle. This is the best going up against the best. Then in March, of course, we got, so you got like the bowl games, and you got the Senior Bowl. Then you got free agency, which winds up being huge, absolutely huge. You got, let's just say the Giants. Everybody's thinking that the Giants are going to be drafting an offensive line. Well, what if free agency somehow we clear enough money, we wind up signing 2 offensive linemen. Say we sign 2 guards. Well, there's a couple of guys in the draft that we're not going to wind up taking, right? Especially maybe early on, or say in free agency, say we wind up getting maybe we get a good edge rusher. Well, then, maybe Karlaftis might be off the board, right? I don't know if Thibodeau might be off the board, But, then, of course, then we got, then there's the Combine, which comes up in a couple weeks. I think it's March 1st to March 7th. You got the whole week there, so you got the Combine. So you got so many things, especially when they come out with their first initial mock draft, even before the college season's over with. So then when you get like the Combine, you might have like say Thibodeau and Hutchinson, right? Who's the top guy? Who's going to be? So then say one guy winds up running a 40. Say Thibodeau runs a 4.38 40, and just say Hutchinson for whatever reason runs like a 4.63. Well, now Thibodeau's number 1. Hutchinson falls to pick number 3 or 4 or something. Or say one of the offensive line and say Neal winds up bench pressing 34 reps. Well, Cross winds up only benching 18. Neal shoots up there. Where maybe it might have been neck and neck or Ekwonu, Neal and Ekwonu or whatever. So one guy does 34 reps, the other guy only does 18. Now that guy's up, up above the other guy. Or you got, one of the other guys, especially with the offensive line, one guy's arm length is like, I forgot what it is. If it's 33 and under, it's short. I think that's what it is. So, if you got one guy whose arm length is like 33 and like a quarter, but the other guy is 32 and 5/8, well, the one guy arm length is short. The other guy is okay to be a tackle, but the other guy who's 32 and 3/4 may not be a tackle. We might have to slip him in and become a guard. Well, something like that. Say that, the Giants have Lemieux coming back. Okay. And in these drafts, they have the Giants projecting to take, say, a guard. Okay. Well, the Giants have Lemieux coming back. All right. Just say, Shane sees him and he thinks that maybe he can be the guy. Well, say the Giants don't re-sign Hernandez, but in free agency we pick up another guard, right? So now we got the guard from free agency, and we got Lemieux, we got Andrew Thomas, and now we might need maybe a center and a right tackle. Well, so now we're looking for a tackle, but if all of a sudden one of these guys' arms is a little short, now the guy can't be a tackle for us. Now we kind of might take him off the board because we may not need him. We don't need a guard. We got two guards, so we got to look for somebody else. So somebody's vertical. Somebody does a vertical 38 and a half. The other guy only does 29. Maybe a cornerback or something. The one cornerback, they both run 4.4s, but the one his vertical is a 38. The only guy has a 20. Well, the 3-cone drill, one guy does so much better than the other. Shoots up and down like that. I mean, it's just crazy the way things go. One quarterback's, this happens all the time. One quarterback lights it up. He goes flying up the draft board, right? And now all of a sudden, if you got a quarterback flying up the draft board, right now trades come into effect, which is possible. I mean, as of right now, I don't really see any trades really going on, because this is one of the few times, for the most part, where there's really not some good quarterbacks coming out. There's some prospects, but all I'm seeing and hearing and everything is if you take a quarterback early here, you might be kind of doing a little. You might hit a home run, but it may not be right away. You might be doing a little bit of gambling. You might have to wait a year, 2, 3 for it to pay off if you're going to take somebody really, really high. So, as of right now, there's nobody really willing. I can't see anybody like in the teens or anything willing to trade up with the Giants for pick like number 5. Because Carolina could use a quarterback. They're number 6. They're right in the middle of the Giants. Giants are 5 and 7. Now, if the people in the back end, like the Washington football team, maybe the Steelers, the Saints, whatever, want to jump up, there's a quarterback lights it up in the senior week all of a sudden. Not the senior week, the combine lights it up. Now all of a sudden, he shoots up the draft board. Well, if those teams I just mentioned, Steelers, Washington, maybe the Saints, the Broncos, they want to jump in front of Carolina because Carolina's pretty much the first team kind of looking like so far that's just going to need want to grab a quarterback. If they even draft one at 6, who knows? But if somebody just lights it up all of a sudden, right? Those teams back there might want to jump up in front of the Giants. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But after the combine's over, that might happen. Who knows? You had like with Trey Lance last year. I didn't. Who the frick am I? But I didn't have him going number 3. A lot of people didn't have him going number 3. But Shanahan saw him, and he saw something in him, and all of a sudden, Trey Lance went from in the teens maybe, somewhere around there, to pick number 3. You got one pick, throws you out of order, and your whole draft gets screwed up. It's like the final 64 bracket. Pick number team 14 beats number 3, and all of a sudden your bracket's screwed up. Right? Well, that's what happened to me. I got the first 2 right. I got Lawrence right. I got Wilson right. The only reason why I picked Wilson because there was a lot of talk about Wilson going to the Jets. So I took Lawrence, I had Wilson, and I had Pitts at number 4 because that sounded like a Falcon kind of thing. Maybe they don't have a great defense, but let's take a tight end. Maybe we don't have a great offensive line, but let's take a wide receiver. That's a Falcon kind of thing. So I had the Falcons with Pitts, but I didn't have Lance at number 3, and pretty much after that, I just kind of screwed things up. I didn't have the Giant number 11. I did it with no trades. My mock draft. I only did one draft. It was a couple days before the draft, and I had no trades. So once the Giants traded, that really screwed everything up. Those were the only 3 guys I got right. Picks 1, 2, and 4. That was it. Everything else was screwed up. And it's the same thing with all these other these drafts. I mean, if during the combine, if Thibodeau looks better than Hutchinson, well, then all of a sudden, maybe now Thibodeau is number 1, and maybe Hutchinson falls to number maybe 3. Who knows? Right? I mean, it's all hearsay. You don't know. I mean, is Jacksonville? Are they worried more? They want the edge rusher, or they want somebody to help protect Lawrence? Are they going to take Neal? Are they going to take Kwanu? You don't really know. Things you need to think about. One thing Shane, he was talking with, I don't know, it was Bob Papa, whoever it was, but there's things that you don't know about and you're never going to know about. I mean, Mel Kiper ain't going to know about this stuff, right? I mean, one thing Joe Shane was saying, Bob Papa said, what are you looking at, when you try to pick a guy and stuff like that, when you're talking to him and all and everything, or whatever, or you're looking at him maybe at the Senior Bowl and stuff. There's all kind. If you're holding a conversation with the guy, does the guy look you in the eye? Does the guy, is he there? Is he talking about football? Is he at pat? Or is he like looking? Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. Is he looking around? Is he, not really too fired up about football? Does he doesn't really look serious? But one thing Shane brought up, he's talking about other things, but he just something as simple as. And he said he writes this down. If a guy is thirsty and if he asks for water, does he say, "Can I have water?" or "Give me water," or something like that? Or does he say, "Please"? Something simple like that. It's not maybe a deal breaker, right? But if the guy says, "Can I please have some water?" or ask it kindly or something or whatever, is he just demanding? That's something you write down. May not be a deal breaker, but you get a couple of those like that, something like that, a couple other small little things, may not be picking them. I mean, the Mel Kiper might have the Giants taking Neal at number 5. Well, if you don't, according to Shane, if you don't ask for water the right way, if he doesn't look you in the eye, maybe if he doesn't do this, doesn't do that, 3-4 little things or something, he may not be on the team. He may not. They might not draft him, but you don't know. You're never, ever gonna know, what kind of conversations they were holding, what those scouts see, what you never, ever gonna know, so, so all these, the draft experts, right? I mean, then you got they got the draft experts or one thing, but then you got, they're looking at it one way, but, the Giants, they're looking at some, the Giants, the coaches, and their GMs are looking at things the other way. I mean, look at the Giants. I mean, with Reese, right? I mean, back in 15, him and I don't know how much Coughlin, was all fired up about getting Eric Flowers, but I mean, nobody had Eric Flowers going at number 9 to the Giants. Nobody. Because they're the draft experts. They're looking at it one way, but they're not looking at the same way the GMs and the coaches are looking at it. Then in 2016, nobody had Eli Apple going number 10 to the New York Giants. Nobody with these mock drafts. But they weren't in Jerry Reese's head. You know what I mean? Right? So, and Ben McAdoo, right? So, I mean, I don't know how much they talk together about picking Eli Apple, but, so, I mean, the draft experts look at it one way, but they're not the coaches, they're not the GM. I mean, they look at it another way. I mean, look at like with the Raiders. I mean, these are somebody's head scratcher. This is one of the reasons why Mike Mack doesn't have a job anymore. Taking Alex Leatherwood last year, number 17 overall, he struggled big time last year. And I didn't see anybody have him in the first round. You get some stupid pick like that, just blows everything up. I mean, the draft experts might have been right? So I mean, you got Mike Mayock picking Alex over number 17. I had people seeing him picking the second round. He picked him number 17. Cleveland Farrell, I mean, pick number 4. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? In the 2019 draft, nobody had him being picked number 4. Mike Mayock did, threw everything off. I mean, you get these weird, stupid, crazy freaking picks that actually don't turn out. and that throws the whole draft off. It's absolutely crazy. So I mean, the same thing now that you got with the Giants. I mean, they're mocking these guys to the Giants. Well, who are the Giants from their team? Who are they cutting to try to they're trying to get rid of to save some money, right? Who might the Giants sign in the free agency? This is all before the draft, right? I mean, the Giants don't have a boatload of money, but I mean, they can maybe go out and maybe make a little. Maybe get somebody for maybe a $10 million guy or something like that. Maybe maybe a couple, an $8 million and maybe a $6 million guy or something like that. Who the Giants who they cut and who they I mean, just say the Giants don't resign like say Carter, say they let go of Blake Martinez, say they let go of Ximines because the Giants might run a four-man front now, right? So they might need more on the defense, the defensive line. Well, I mean, would Carter be on the defensive front? Would X-Man, does he have enough to be on the defensive front? And say they let go of Blake Martinez, right? I mean, if they don't re-sign Carter, which they're probably not going to, if they get rid of Martinez, do they want to fill fill Martinez's void with Jay Crowder? I mean, he did an admirable job, but I mean, he's not somebody you want to have in there, on a permanent basis. And as I said, they let go of X-Man. Right, so now all of a sudden you might have Azeez Ojulari, I mean Quincy Roche, but now you got somebody you might need now a linebacker might be huge, but as I said, you don't know that right now, right? That they might they get rid of the linebackers, they might have to take Lloyd from Utah or Dean from Georgia in the first pick, or maybe pick number 7 or one of those. I mean, if they just kind of deplete themselves. Because there's a lot of linebackers that they only sign for like 1 year or so. And as I said, Carter might be gone. Right? So, I mean, so if they don't sign, if they let Martinez go, they don't re-sign some of those, maybe they'd have no attachment to Oshane Ximines. Maybe they just let him go. Right? They draft somebody. Well, now all of a sudden, I said, the linebackers are more premium. Say they pick up somebody in the free agency on the offensive line. Well, maybe now they don't need an offensive lineman right away in the first round. Maybe they try to double up. Maybe they take Hamilton because then they're going to maybe re-sign Logan Ryan. So maybe they take Hamilton and they take somebody else. Maybe they take a linebacker in Hamilton. You don't know. You have no idea. Now Shane is trying to save $40 million, so you don't know exactly who's going to stay, who's going to cut. Then you got the best player available. So say Neal gets number 5. But what about Thibodeau if he gets the 5, right? I mean, it might, I mean, if they think Neal, could maybe play right tackle, or maybe they can if they get to him, who knows? I said, but Thibodeau, I see some drafts where the Thibodeau gets to the Giants at number 5. I mean, I've seen a bunch of guys go number 1. I've seen Hutchinson, Ekwonu. I've seen Neal go number 1. I've seen Thibodeau go number 1. I see Cross, number 5, go to the Giants. I mean, where's the first quarterback go? You don't know. No idea. I mean, I've seen Travon Walker go to the Giants at number 7. I saw Cross go to the Giants at number 5. I saw Ahmad Gardner go to the Giants at number 7. They might need him, right? That's possible. If they let Bradbury go, they're going to need a cornerback. You got Adoree Jackson on one side, and then you might have Gardner on the other side. You're going to need 2 good cornerbacks. That's a possibility. Because the Bills came from their secondary was outstanding. The Giants might want to do the same thing here. Let go of Bradbury. He's a little old, not too old, but he's expensive. Bring in Gardner, right? Save yourself some money. Get younger. Maybe Gardner might be a better fit, right? That's how the Bills were building it. They built, had a good secondary, right? That's what the Giants might want to wind up doing. I've seen Matt Corral going to the Giants in one mock draft. I saw Evan Neal. Now the thing is, you got Evan Neal and Ekwonu. Now, but the thing is how do the Giants want to approach this? Because Neal is a good pass blocker, very good pass blocker. Not so much good on the run blocking. Ekwonu is a good run blocker, but he's not so great with the pass protection. Does that make a deal? Right? All these things. I saw Kenny Pickett. One mock draft had Giants taking Kenny Pickett, like number 5 or number 7. I can't remember what it was. Devin Lloyd, pick number 7, going to the linebacker from Utah, going to the Giants. Or Carl Loftus, the edge rusher from Purdue. I seen him going to the Giants. I saw quite a few mock drafts. Thibodeau falling to the Giants at number 5. Kyle Hamilton being taken, I think, at number 5 or number 7 by the Giants. I saw Ajabu. Had Hutchinson, but they got Ajabu too from Michigan. Two great edge rushers. I seen him going to the Giants at number 7. I mean, all these mock drafts, all these guys, it's just absolutely crazy. So I mean, if you're looking at a mock draft now, just educational purpose, maybe have some fun, maybe a little chitter chatter out of it all, but don't get too crazy about it. Wait, I said, till like about the week before. When all most of the free agents, like with the Giants signed any big free agents they're going to sign, they'll be already signed because they might fill a spot or two. Whoever they cut, they let go, then re-sign. Wait for the combine to be over. And everybody get all the final statistics and everything like that. Then you can kind of put in, place maybe, because then there's always a little bit of chitter chatter. Some guys here, the Giants really like so and so, or the Jaguars are really humped up about Hutchinson, or the Lions really like Thibodeau or something. So then you can maybe make a little better educational guess at what's going on. But I mean, right now, any mock drafts out there, please, just take them with a grain of salt. Have some fun now, but wait until like about a week before the draft starts, and those mock drafts, maybe get a little excited about those mock drafts. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants! Woo!